I will report for you only one story. And before talking about this story, I'm asking you this question. How did you lead your life? I mean, how did you spend your life? How many years you spent in your job? Somebody may tell me that he spent 20 years as a soldier, or 30 years as a businessman, or 10 years as a teacher, dedicating 20, 30 years, etc. I'm talking to you about the story of a man who spent his life in two journeys. He took two trips throughout the whole of his life. One for 15 years and the other for 20 years. What is the purpose of his travel? To pick up pieces of wisdom of his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from every group of people, at any masjid that he meets, at any session of knowledge that he can attend, accumulating as many hadiths he could accumulate. His name is Baqi ibn Makhlad. I'm sure that most of us don't know him. Baqi ibn Makhlad walked on his feet from Spain to Iraq, seeking after knowledge. He was aiming at meeting Imam Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, may Allah be pleased with him, to seek knowledge and to take knowledge from him. He said, when I reached Baghdad, somebody contacted me and informed me that Imam Ahmad is now experiencing the trial and tribulation of the problem of creation of the Quran, as you know, and Imam Ahmad was prohibited to spread knowledge or to teach people ahadith in Baghdad. So Baqi ibn Makhlad said, I became completely depressed and disappointed. I aimed, when I put my luggage in one of the hotels, I went to the mosque, finding a man. People ask him about biographies of hadith narrators. The name of that teacher is Yahya bin Ma'in. I started looking at him until I found a gap in the session. I jumped and I drew myself closer to him and started asking him questions, saying, Aba Zakaria, may Allah have mercy upon you. I'm a man, I'm a stranger. I came from a very remote place asking you about specific names of narrators. What do you think about them? And he said, I started to ask him about biographies of narrators. I asked him a question about Hisham ibn Ammar, and I took a lot of hadith from him. He said to me, Hisham ibn Ammar is a trustworthy narrator, and he is more than that. And may Allah have mercy upon him. Then Baqi ibn Makhlad said, oh, my teacher, I have another question. What do you think about Ahmad ibn Hanbal? Yahya looked at him and said, you ask me about Ahmad ibn Hanbal? He's our teacher. He's the Imam of Muslims. And he is the best among us. He doesn't need a question. It means that he is trustworthy. Baqi is asking and investigating about Ahmad before going to him to receive knowledge. He asked about the house of Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He knocked on the door and Ahmad came to him, opened the door for him and said, Ya Aba Abdullah, I'm a stranger coming to you, seeking after the hadith of the Prophet. I'm a recorder of the Sunnah. compiler of ahadith, and I only took this journey for your sake. I mean that for you, seeking after your knowledge. Ahmad admitted him. And he said, from where you are? He said, I'm from the farthest west. He said, from Africa? He said, no, I'm from a more remote place. I'm from Andalus. I cross the sea until I reach Africa, and then I travel to you. Ahmed said, you have a very long distance to reach us, and I wish to help you by reporting a hadith to you. But you know, I'm at a trial. I'm deprived of teaching people. I'm at prison. How should I help you? Baqi ibn Makhlad said, I have an idea. I come to you in the form of beggars. I'm dressed like beggars, soliciting your help. I knock on the door, you open the door. If you give me just one hadith every day, it's sufficient. It's enough for me. He used to knock on the door, asking Ahmad for help, as if he is a beggar, putting oil and dirty stuff on his clothes to deceive people, and he started receiving a hadith. It's a noble character. A person covering this long distance, seeking knowledge, and picking up the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, definitely every single letter which is recited and recorded in those books is in the scale of the good deeds of those noble people. Look at the sincerity of the cause. A man is spending his time, his life, his effort, far away from his family for the sake of seeking religious knowledge. Look at the resolution, the intention, the enthusiasm and zeal he had in accumulating those ahadith. How did he underestimate himself, his honor, his dignity, to go to Ahmad in the form of a beggar, picking up hadith from him? Also, look at our scholars, Imam Ahmad, how when he have an opportunity to spend knowledge, he did not drive him away, he did not mistreat him. He exerted optimum effort to spend and to share this knowledge to him. A question is given to you, my viewers, my respected viewers. What did you introduce for Islam if your age is 20? How much did you spend for Islam? If you are 30 or 40 or 50 or 60, how much did you give for the sake of Allah? How many hours did you spend for Allah? How many days you spend in the cause of Allah? Qasim, Muhammad ibn al-Qasim, the disciple of Imam Malik, once was sitting in the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He found a young man. The young man entered to Imam Malik and said, and he kissed him in between his eyes and said, where is Ibn al-Qasim? I want to see him. The young man was 17 years old, and he came from Egypt in the season of Hajj. He asked about Ibn al-Qasim. He said, where is Ibn al-Qasim? They said, you see the man lying his back to the pillar over there in the mosque? He said, yes. Is it Ibn al-Qasim? They said, yes, it is him. He went and he approached himself to him. Ibn al-Qasim smelled the guy and he discovered that it is his son. He left his son as an infant in the stomach of his mother 17 years ago. 17 years ago, when he married his wife, he gave her the choice whether to travel with him, and she chose to stay. He left his family for 17 years. Why? He wanted to learn. He wanted to be deeply rooted in knowledge. He wanted to introduce something. That's why Ibn al-Qasim was one of the most trustworthy people and the most deeply rooted scholars in the fiqh of Imam Malik. People took knowledge from him. People sought after his knowledge in every single spot of the world. My brothers, these are a few amazing examples about our righteous ancestors who felt about the wings of the angels being lowered for them, tranquility ascending to them, and paths to paradise being made easy for them. These are my grandfathers. Show me your own grandparents. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.